You ever get that feeling, that sudden, just overwhelming urge to be done with everyone? It's way more common than you think, but man, can it feel isolating. So we're going to get into the psychology behind exactly what's going on in that moment. Right? One minute you're doing fine, and the next, the very idea of making small talk or going to another social thing makes you want to just lock the door and disappear. If you've ever felt that sudden wave of, I just can't with people right now, then yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll talk about that feeling itself. Then we're going to reframe it, which is the really important part. After that, we'll dig into what's actually causing it, look at what happens when you hit a breaking point, and finally, figure out what this powerful feeling is really trying to tell you. Okay, so let's start right there with that raw emotion. It's so confusing, isn't it? It can feel like your whole personality just did a 180 overnight. And you probably feel pretty guilty about it too, thinking, wow, am I becoming a bitter, antisocial person just because you want to hide from the world? But here is the single most important thing to get right from the very beginning. This feeling, it's not a character flaw. It's not you becoming a bad person. What you're experiencing is actually critical data from your brain. Think of it like a signal flare, not some deep, dark flaw in your personality. So to really understand what's happening, we have to completely reframe this feeling. We use the word hate. It's easy, it's punchy, but it's not really the most accurate word. What you're much more likely experiencing is a profound state of overload. And this comparison just lays it all out perfectly. The misconception is, oh no, I'm becoming cold and I don't like people anymore. But the reality, it's that your brain is screaming, signaling that you have hit your limit. We're talking about social burnout and total emotional exhaustion. It's not about the people. It's about your own internal battery being completely drained. And yep, there's a name for this: social burnout. It's a state where your emotional resources are so depleted that your brain literally starts to see all social interaction, even the good stuff, as stressful. It's just another withdrawal from an empty bank account. And when you're in that state, being alone doesn't feel like a punishment. It feels like the only way you can possibly recharge. So how do you even get here? What leads a person to a state of complete and total social burnout? Well, the roots of it often go much, much deeper than just having a busy social calendar. You can kind of see it as a chain reaction. It often starts with this deep-seated belief that love and belonging are things you have to earn. That naturally leads to people-pleasing habits, which turns social events from something fun into a high-stakes performance. Over time, your brain just starts to flag people in general as a source of stress. And then, boom, seeking isolation stops being a choice and starts feeling like pure self-preservation. Let's dig into those roots for a second. For so many people, this stems from childhood, from feeling overlooked or unchosen. When you learn early on that love is conditional, that you have to do something to get it, you develop a strategy. And that strategy is usually people-pleasing. You're constantly working, performing, trying to earn your spot, just to avoid being left behind. I mean, it is an absolutely exhausting way to live. And all that exhaustion, eventually, it has to lead somewhere. It leads to a breaking point. This is that moment where someone doesn't just cancel plans for a weekend. They seem to cut off everyone, often without any explanation at all. Now, from the outside, this can look incredibly cold, right? Maybe even arrogant or cruel. But from the inside, it's usually an act of sheer, utter desperation. It's the final emergency shutdown when all the other systems have completely failed. This quote it hits the nail on the head. It is often a drastic boundary set after years of tolerating too much. This isn't some sudden decision. It's the delayed explosion after years and years of having weak or non-existent boundaries. It's the final massive line drawn in the sand because all the smaller, healthier ones were crossed over and over again. So psychologically, what we're looking at is a symptom of a couple things. One is a deep sensitivity to betrayal, and the other is that psychological overload we've been talking about. The whole system is just so flooded with stress that the only option left feels like a total, radical disconnection. Which brings us to our final and honestly most empowering point. If this I hate people feeling isn't a character flaw, and if wanting to retreat isn't arrogance, then what is it? What's the actual message in that signal flare your brain is setting up? It's this. Your intense desire to be alone is your own mind writing you a prescription for what you need most. It's not trying to punish you. It's trying to protect you. It's your brain basically saying, hey, we are emotionally and socially overdrawn here, and I am mandating a period of serious rest and recovery. So let me just leave you with this final thought. The next time you feel that exhaustion, that urge to pull away, instead of judging yourself for it, get curious. Ask yourself, if this feeling is a signal, what is it trying to tell me? What is it saying about my boundaries, my relationships, and my real need for rest? Answering that, well, that could be the key to not just recovering, but to building a social life that actually sustains you instead of drains you.